Valorant's now been out for about 4 years, and it's had a lot of time to make changes, but in this time, some things are getting old and some things need to be added to the game. So in this video, I made a list of 14 things that need to be changed in Valorant. Although the game is one of the most popular in the world right now, that doesn't mean it's perfect, so let's see what we have in store here. If you have any things you want changed, leave a comment down below, because I want to see your takes on this. Let me know what you guys think. Starting things off with my first bullet point on this list, and that is going to be the removal of RNG in Valorant. Now, it's going to be hard to do because with an agent select game, there's going to be a lot of things you run into, but the main issue comes down to weapons. Now, I hear a lot of pros complain about this and a lot of newcomers who play the game, and they always say the game is RNG, which is debatably true. A lot of the guns don't have first shot accuracy. For example, the Classic, the Vandal has a little bit of spread compared to the Phantom, and then on top of the first shot accuracy, there's weapon sprays. Now, a game like CSGO or Rainbow Six Siege, for example, there's a set pattern a gun will shoot in, and then you can negate this pattern / recoil by moving against the recoil. In Valorant, it is never the same, it is inconsistent, and there's almost no point to spraying because it's not controllable and it's fully random. That's why sometimes you'll see someone mid-air running gunning and they'll hit you with a one tap. The game is completely RNG based when it comes to gunplay, and that is a very, very big issue. I think what they should do is just add a spray pattern to the guns. It wouldn't be too hard to implement, and it would honestly make the quality of the game better, and I don't think many people would have too many complaints. They wouldn't have to really do a huge overhaul, just take what the base spray is for most weapons and make it consistent. I personally feel like there's no reason to have a randomized variable here. I think most of the community agrees with me on this, but if you don't think so, let me know why. Especially when the game values itself as a competitive shooter, it seems like it should be in there from the first place. The next thing on this list is going to be an avoid as teammate button. Now, we've seen something like this in Overwatch where you can have 3 people avoided as a teammate at a time and it lasts for a certain amount of time. I don't know how long. And now I think this is a great feature because the thing is with competitive games or even just casuals, you're going to run into weird people. That happens online. That's just the way life is online. But why would you want to run to the same person twice, especially when it happens so much? Let's say they're a toxic, let's say they're a thrower, who cares what it is? There should be a way to make sure you don't end up with this person on your team, or at least try to stray against it. So you add this button, it avoids them as a teammate, it basically blacklists them from you for a certain time period. You can only have 3 people blacklisted so they don't completely abuse the system, and it doesn't prevent you from getting in a match with them, it just prevents them from being on your team specifically. It's one of those simple quality of life changes that I think would make a pretty big difference and make the player experience a little bit better as a whole. Speaking of improving quality of life and player experience, something that Valorant needs to do is add new modes. Now, the reason I think Valorant should add new modes is pretty simple. The game is dry. For me personally, it's okay because I'm a competitive player in games. I only play ranked modes. I don't play casual. I don't play spike rush, whatever you want to call it. I'm only going to play the ranked setting. And which is okay for me, it's not okay for other players. Usually the biggest community within most games is their casual player base. They may be the quietest, but they are usually the mass majority of players. Not everyone wants to sweat and try to hit the highest rank in a video game. And even then, the people that do, maybe they'd enjoy playing something else. And the thing is, we see a lot of this in other games. Rainbow Six Siege is starting to implement this. They have an arcade mode where they add different things every now and then and cycle it. It's not great, but they're trying. Overwatch does this. CSGO does this, or CS2. It is almost default in a lot of games. Roblox. Rocket League has their basketball mode. You get the idea. Basically something different, because it really just feels like, and Eggwick said this, he's a Valorant YouTuber, was a Valorant YouTuber, that every mode in Valorant just feels like a warm-up for competitive, which honestly is really true. It's hard to get someone into Valorant without basically just throwing them into a game full of sweats. So adding different modes could definitely be helpful into making the game more fun for the average player, and having people have longer play sessions because they won't just only feel the need to play competitive. And while that's one thing the community has been begging for, this one's another, which we definitely need, and that's going to be match replay. This is something that I don't understand why it hasn't been in the game. I believe when the game first came out, they mentioned it, and since then, radio silence. Or if even, they probably said they're not going to do it. The thing is, I couldn't tell you why. I don't think it makes sense. Every other game does it. There's VODs in CS2, there's VODs in Siege, there's VODs in Overwatch. There's no reason not to have match replay. And there's a lot of reasons why you would want this in your game. And I can't think of many drawbacks to why you wouldn't. Reasons why you would: A, content creation. It'll allow YouTubers to make better videos. You get a lot of freedom, being able to get different angles, see what happened, get those recordings. Maybe for the casual player, you hit a clip, you didn't have your shadow play on, so you couldn't clip it. You can always go in match replay, pull up the clip, record it, stuff like that. I actually saw a video where this guy made his own match replay just to prove that Valorant's being lazy, and he did. It's, good video. If I can find it, I'll link it. More reasons is sometimes you feel like you're facing a cheater and you report them, but you don't really know and you're kind of uncertain. You want to find out. Well, you go in match replay, you see what they did. Are they looking through walls? Blah, 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 blah. That's another reason. And there's plenty more, but you get the idea. There's not really any drawbacks to having a match replay system. Valorant is a very, very well off company. They could afford to do this. They simply just do not want to. Seems like community negligence to me, but that's besides the point. Something else they should add to Valorant, and this one they should like. They should honestly do this because I'm working for them when I say this. Look, hear me out. They should add agent uniforms. And the reason why they should do this for themselves and not just for the community is because we all know Valorant likes money. This is one of the most expensive games I play. Really hard not to spend money in. The skins are really cool. So they'll make money from this. So why wouldn't they do it? They have incentive now. But basically, I think uniforms would be sick. And sure, there's a balancing issue with it, but I think in competitive, make it so you can only see your teammates' uniforms and you can't see the enemies. Or you can just make it so they don't overhaul the entire shape of the character, just some color changes. Like imagine they had team uniforms so you could wear the colors of your team on your uniform. That'd be super cool in my opinion. I think it'd be sick. Because with all the skins that there are in Valorant, sometimes it still feels like there's not that much customizability, if that makes sense. I feel like every other game has uniforms, you know, why can't we get uniforms? CSGO has uniforms. You get the idea. Something more gameplay related though, is that as you know, in Valorant, there's a menu to see what your abilities do, and it's a pretty good thing for a beginner. It gives you very brief information on your character and their abilities. For example, it'll say, hey, you have this smoke, it does this, but it doesn't get into the statistics of it. And I think that would be incredibly useful because I've been playing agents that I know what their ability does, but I don't know the exact timings of it. And learning the timings is one of those important things. So if I could hold another set of buttons while I'm looking at my info, the exact ability durations, the exact effects the ability has, how long that effect will last, I think that would be pretty useful. Because as I said, while the information they give you at first is good for just general knowledge for a new player, sometimes you want to know the deeper stuff. Because when a change is made to a character, for example, you might not know exactly what that change is. And this addition would actually help with that and make it easier when there's a new update. Something back to visuals that I think should be added to Valorant, which could definitely make the game look a little bit fresher, is customizable backgrounds in the main menu. So if you don't know, in the Valorant main menu, every now and then it rotates what it looks like. Usually, I believe it's every act, or just when they patch the game or something big's going on in the game. And that's cool. I do like that. And I understand why during a VCT, for example, they have a VCT related thing. But I think it'd be cool to where you can go through all the previous ones in some pre-made screenshots that they have and just rotate through them and pick what you want. Set a select few that you want to rotate maybe, or just pick one that's your favorite. I just think it'd be nice to have that extra customizability in your home screen and make it more personalized, especially when you're in like the queue section for certain modes, because it's been the same boring blue screen since God knows when. I don't think this would be hard to add. It might add like 5 gigabytes of storage to the game. I personally can't see any drawbacks with it. I think it'd be nice to freshen up the looks, but hey, maybe it's a bad idea. Let me know what you think. Again, that one's nothing too crazy though, but this one would kind of change the entire dynamic of Valorant and its systems. The specific system being the shop. Now, personally, I am a very big hater of shop rotations. I think they're stupid, and it's crazy how they always feel rigged against what skin you want. For example, I've been waiting for Kuronami Vandal to be in my shop for, I want to say since it came out. I was on vacation when the skin came out. I couldn't buy it. Since then, I have not seen it in my shop once. But then there's other skins that I'll see in my shop like 4 times a week. And it's not like these are low rarity skins. It'll be a high rarity skin equal to Kuronami, but I'll never get it in my shop. And I understand that this is how Valorant makes money, because since you want a skin so bad and once it eventually shows up in your shop, you're more likely to make an impulse purchase. And while I do understand that, I think it's lame. Many games don't do this and still make a lot of money. For example, hate to bring them up all the time, CS2 does this, Siege does this, Overwatch does this, to where you can just spend money on whatever skin you want. I might be mistaken about Overwatch 2. Let me know in the comments below. I'm not entirely sure. But you get the idea. I think it'd be nice just to be able to buy skin whenever you want. For example, the VCT classics have been up for God knows how long, and people are still buying them. It's not like they're not making money on it just because they're there all the time. It's just nice to have the freedom of purchase when you want it. One day I might decide I want a skin. I don't have to wait 3 months to be able to get that skin. Now, instead of removing something, this is something that they should add to the game, and I think that that is a map pick or a map veto. So I'm going to explain what I mean by both of these. Map pick, pretty simple, just like how it used to be in CS, to where you can just pick what maps you want to queue on. That one I'm kind of iffy on, because that makes it to where some people will play only one map and that's how they get to high elo. So I understand why not a specific map selection, but a map veto could be nice. Now, for an example of a map veto, I'm going to bring up Rainbow Six Siege. They have something like this to where there's a constant map pool, which sure rotates every now and then, but every time you get into a ranked game, you have the choice between 3 maps, and both teams vote for one map they want removed from that queue, and then eventually it rolls on to the map you're actually going to play. I think this would be great because a lot of the time there's a map in the pool that everyone agrees is not good. A good example of this is, let's say that the map pool currently is Haven, Split, Fracture, Ascent, and Icebox. I think most people will agree that Split sucks the most out of those. Now, everyone has their own opinions, but when it comes down to it, no one wants to play split. There's worse maps, but I kind of just forgot them right now. But with this, you'd be able to be like, hey, we don't want to play split. And now you're still gonna be forced to play other maps in the game, and it's not like you're one-tricking one map. You're just getting rid of what everyone agrees is a bad map. And also help Riot and Valorant devs figure out, hey, this map is disliked. Why is this disliked? And then they can make changes to it and so onward. So it's beneficial to the community and it's beneficial to the devs because then they get to learn about what's going wrong in their game and see what their community likes and does not like, while also the community gets to pick what to play. This next one is also another long time complaint in Valorant, and this has to do with the episode buddies. So if you don't know, because you don't play comp or you're new to Valorant, every episode, whatever rank you peaked at, you get a gun buddy or a charm of. And now this is cool, but the thing is, the only thing that changes every episode is a number on the back. And as you might assume, this gets very, very dry, especially if you're the same rank, like let's say you're Radiant every act or Immortal every act, you're gonna get bored of getting that charm, because what's the point? Of the same charm copy and pasted with one thing changed on it. What I think they should do is something like Rainbow Six Siege does, which is obviously you keep a general consensus for each rank. Like let's say you get an Ascendant charm, it's gonna be green. So you get an Immortal charm, it's gonna be red, blah, 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 you get it. What they should do is have the themes change every episode. It can be something related to the episode, like maybe a new map that came out or a new agent that came out, and have that be almost like the shape of the gun buddy, and then along with the color and then the episode number. A game that does this, sorry for bringing them up constantly, is Rainbow Six Siege. Every season, the charm looks nothing like the last, aside from the color representing what rank you got. I think this would be a great change to Valorant, because why not make collecting charms more fun? If grinding ranked is the only thing to do in Valorant, why make the reward for grinding ranked so terrible? Might as well make it better, which gives people more incentive to play the game and grind out ranked every season, instead of just ignoring it and not wanting to play, because why would I get the same thing every single season? Another thing I think they should add, this is more personal, but I think that either you should be able to spawn bots inside of custom games, or you should be able to use in-game maps inside of the range. Because personally, I feel like it'd be nice to A, set up angles on actual maps, that way you can learn and play on them, and B, the range has been the same since the game came out. So I don't know. This one's a short one, it's not too important to me, but I think it'd be cool to be able to place bots of maybe like the agents, like you could have like a bot playing Raze running around on a Sen. I don't know, sounds cool to me. Speaking of custom games though, they need to add community servers. This is another one that people have been begging for. I don't know why I saved it to this late in the video, because everyone needs this and I need everyone to hear it. And if there's a Riot dev watching, add this. I'm pretty sure they don't do this to restrict access to the game's code or something, to make it harder for cheaters. And now I'm not sure about any of this, but I don't know if it'd really make that big of a difference and allow that many more cheaters if they did it. But as I said before with the game modes, is that there's not a lot going on aside from playing competitive and some other pretty poopy modes. But then when you look at games like Fortnite, you look at games like Counter-Strike, even games like Overwatch, they have these custom servers where people have the freedom to do what they want in a sandbox, and it's a whole huge subsection of the game. There's people who only play Fortnite for the fact that they're allowed to play on the workshop or the whatever it's called, creative mode. Like there was an entire only up game made in just Fortnite, and it was trending for a while. Giving this creative freedom could not only make your game more popular, but it could also bring back returning players because they'll have something to do. And it just makes an entire subsection of your game that you're missing out on by not allowing them to have their freedom and that customizability. Another example of this would be like surfing in CSGO. There's entire people who only play CS to surf, or Trouble in Terrace Hunt. You get the idea. It'd be so cool to have something like that in Valorant, but instead, all I have to do is click heads and comp. This one's more of a silly one, but I do think it'd be cool. At the end of the games, I feel like whoever match MVP'd on the winning team should get like an MVP highlight. Like it shows their best round from the game and it does like a highlight intro for it with a cool animation. I think that could be pretty sick because, you know, why not? Other games do it. Like Call of Duty's done this forever with the final kill. I think they switched it to like a more of a best like clip thing instead of a final kill, but you get the idea. I think we're sick in Valorant. I feel like they had something like this on the mobile Valorant or something. I thought I saw something about like highlight intros on that, but I don't know. More things to make the game more fun, more fresh. Small changes that could just be more enjoyed by the community. It makes you feel good about doing good, you know what I'm saying? Another small one, but I feel like having skin profiles for different agents in Valorant would be amazing. Because the thing about Valorant is that it's very colorful, right? The skins are colorful, the characters are colorful. And some skins you may have may not match certain characters. And I know it's silly, but I just want to be able to be like, hey, if I'm on this agent, run this skin for this gun, this skin for that gun, blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. Because I just think it'd be pretty cool. Like, let's say I'm running Raze, I want some orange themed skins. But when I'm running Reyna, I don't want purple and orange. I'm not the Phoenix Suns. Give me something clean, something classy. You get the idea. I think it'd be cool. It would be a little bit complicated and annoying at first, but you know, once you make all of your things set up, it'd be fine. And if you don't set up skin profiles, it just runs whatever like your default skins are. Who cares? And the last one, which is a big one to me, but maybe not a big one to you, but I think it's silly because every other game does it, is allow stretched res. And I think their excuse is, oh, we want everyone to be on the same playing field and have the same settings. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares. No one's ever been playing CS and been like, oh, this guy has stretch res and I don't. Like, bro, you can turn it on. It's not a disadvantage or an advantage because you can have it on if you want to have it on. I just feel like allow me to stretch my game without me to go an extra mile and risk getting a ban. And you may say, oh, well, they do have stretch res in Valorant. No, stretch res in Valorant, it's not stretch res. I've had to explain this to a lot of people. When you go stretch res in Valorant, it stretches your UI, but it doesn't stretch anything else on your screen. Like your gun will stay the same, for example, it'll just be less pixels. The enemies are the same size, just like less quality is what I mean. But then your UI is going to stretch out. But that's it. That's it. Anyways, enough rambling. Hope you enjoyed my video. Let me know what you think. Subscribe, wear your seatbelt, stay hydrated. Adios.